to do another chemical reaction here. And so, in this case, we're going to make a chemical reaction occur that is sort of like the main enemy of the movie The Blob, or enemies might be the wrong word. I would guess most of you, younger folk, have not seen the movie The Blob. It's quite an old horror film. Your parents might be chuckling if they're watching because they probably have seen it. And in The Blob, the main enemy is a big blob, big slime or goo, or just sort of a big, sort of jiggly thing that sort of runs around town and eats things up, grabs them up, and takes hold of them, and things get stuck in the blob and that sort of thing. And so we're going to make our own version of the blob here. And so I'm going to mix a few chemicals to have this happen. The first one, something we used earlier, is hydrogen peroxide. Remember, that's a chemical we talked about earlier, where it's the one your mom pulls out when you got a cut to clean it and it burns. This one is actually 10 times more concentrated, at least 10 times more concentrated than what your mom typically uses at home. And so what that means is that it's got more hydrogen peroxide in it. So it would hurt even more if you got it in a cut, for example, because there's more of the chemical in it. But otherwise, it's the same. And so, got that gone in there. Next up, we're just going to add some food dye. This is blue food dye. You can buy it at the grocery store. People use it for baking and things like that. You can see there's kind of a blue color in there. There's not that much liquid. And then this is a common dish soap. Again, something you buy at the grocery store. Parents probably use quite often. Okay. So I've got those in there. And so the last ingredient is the key one. This is called sodium iodide. And I let some of the students prep this particular chemical. And so hopefully they did it right. What we expect to see is a small amount of bubbles forming. We'll see some bubbles. And the bubbles are the fact that the result of the chemical reaction we're going to have happening, producing a gas. And so we put the dish soap in there so that you could see the bubbles. The dish soap will bubble up, collect the gas inside of them. And so a telltale sign of a chemical reaction, one we haven't seen yet, is that they often produce gases. So this chemical reaction does. Okay. So, oh boy. Oh no, that's not what's supposed to happen. And so I think my students might have made a mistake here and played a little trick on me. Either they messed up, or I have a feeling they did this on purpose, because this is going to be a mess to clean up now. And so you can see that what we wanted to have happen is happening, where the gas is being produced. There's even some steam, because this is too much, a little out of hand. They made a mistake. But those are the signs of the chemical reaction. And then the soap is forming these bubbles that we've got going here. And so I think my students probably wanted to play a prank on me to make me have to clean this up. But I'm going to make them have to clean it anyway. So the joke's kind of on them. But you can see we've sort of made a chemical blob here. It's blue because of the blue food coloring. And this will continue to go, although I think pretty slowly at this point. This experiment's also sometimes called the elephant's toothpaste, because it's big toothpaste jar, the way it comes out like that. Toothpaste, brush your teeth. It's dish soap, so I'm not going to actually try that. A chemical reaction that's similar to this that you may have seen, or you may see in the future, I know it was probably one of the first experiments in science class that I ever did, is making a volcano with vinegar and baking soda. So you mix vinegar and baking soda in the heart of the volcano, and it erupts, producing all this gas and foam. Sort of similar to this. In that case, it makes CO2, carbon dioxide gas. And so, cool.